And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Low Ring IQ Chronicles, the only place where you can catch up on the latest boxing news while enjoying a free verbal lobotomy. In today's episode, instead of giving Mr. Ring IQ all the attention he desperately craves, we're shifting the spotlight to one of his newly anointed, enlightened special guests, a proud new recruit in their weekly group therapy session where the main coping mechanism is bashing David Benavidez for the unforgivable sin of bullying their hero into submission.
You versus Canelo, what's that fight look like? Are you knocking him out or?
I'll beat the shit out of him.
So, with that said, let's say hi to Mr. Claymore Rain. Now, I don't know much about this guy, except that he owns a fancy mic and decorates his wall with a bunch of fake belts, which obviously makes him a boxing expert, right, folks? And judging by his association with Mr. Lowering IQ himself, there's a solid chance we're about to hear a symphony of dumb takes. But hey, let's not jump the gun. Maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe he's not quite as clueless as we think. Maybe. But before we get into that, today I'm proud to introduce a brand new feature to the channel, the Dum Dum Meter. That's right. From now on, we will be able to officially certify the level of stupidity we are assaulted by. As you can see, the levels are quite self-explanatory, starting from the innocently misinformed and steadily ascending until we reach rarefied air, the gold standard of peak delusion, only attainable to those rare few who reach complete detachment from reality, a space most rarely reached, yet reached so often by Ring IQ. So with that said, take it away, Mr. Claymore Rain.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, how does it age? How is it aging right now with the whole entire elevating him to be a champion, taking away all the leverage? You were there in Saudi Arabia. A lane was there for you to get you to an undisputed title fight, to fight a significant fight, and you tricked yourself out of it. You left Saudi Arabia, played the politic game with Mauricio, got yourself a WBC title.
And congratulations on delivering the most generic, shallow, Ring IQ approved talking points imaginable. A true masterclass in parroting nonsense, paired with the critical thinking skills of a dead slug. You somehow managed to miss the actual issue entirely. The kind of oversight that might have been avoided if you'd bothered to engage those two lonely brain cells ricocheting around your skull. Here's a wild thought. Did you even notice that Turkey never actually guaranteed David the trilogy winner? No? Then why the hell would David put his entire career on hold based on a vague hope and a handshake? Wouldn't that be, I don't know, completely stupid and naive? Are you stupid, Mr. Rain? You expect David to sit, wait patiently like a loyal pet, and just trust Turkey to come through? Get fucking real. David doesn't wait on anyone anymore. And for the record, David taking a Turkey-backed fight now doesn't retroactively make your argument any less stupid. At the time, he made the only logical move, force Bivol to fight or drop the belt. He walked away from interim scraps, attained a real belt, and guess what? He's still in position to fight for undisputed. If Bivol ever finds the balls to fight him, it looks like his move aged a hell of a lot better than your dumbass take did.
Then that WBC title turns out to be the ultimate lockup, right? Because now you can't even play the leverage you did have, which was that you were a mandatory. Now that you're a champion, you can't even play that card anymore. So nobody has to fight you.
What leverage does David have? How about a real fucking belt? How about being the biggest fight Bivol can make against a pound-for-pound monster? How about giving Bivol a shot to finally headline a real event in Vegas on pay-per-view, instead of dragging his talents to Saudi Arabia to perform in front of 6,000 bored oil princes who don't give a single fuck about boxing? And what leverage does Callum Smith have? Oh yeah, being a mandatory that hasn't even been ordered. That's it? That's your ace? Now, apparently, when it's Benavidez, the leverage of being a world champion magically disappears. Funny how that works.
How do you
personally,
feel? How do you feel about? I have this company man theory, right? Where the big fighters over at the PBC are committed to helping the PBC come back into their being the guys that run it in American boxing.
Company man theory? You mean loyalty? Believe it or not, that's not actually a dirty word to people with morals and integrity. So it's no wonder you are so offended by the concept.
Or even looking in this case scenario with let's say David Benavidez, who has an opportunity to chase legacy, and they try to put him in the ring with a Jesse Hart, right? Because it probably
you know what I think it is, because I know exactly what theory you're talking about, and I've wrestled with the theory as well. But what I ultimately chalk it up to is Stockholm syndrome. That they're so used to being mistreated and mismanaged that when good opportunity comes along, they don't actually know how to take it. They don't actually even know that it's better for them, because they've been so poorly mismanaged that they don't even know what's good for them at this point.
Stockholm syndrome, mismanaged? Okay, let's run it down. World champion at 20. Fought and beat Plant, Andre, Gvozdik, and Morell. 3 pay-per-view headliners. One of the few fighters in the sport who is a main event pay-per-view fighter. Offered Bivol $8 million for a Vegas showdown. Sent multiple offers to fight Canelo. All by age 28 and within 30 fights. That's your idea of mismanaged and Stockholm syndrome? That's what elite career building looks like. But you wouldn't know that because your head is shoved so far up Canelo's ass, you can't see daylight. In reality, the PBC have managed David's career brilliantly. And if a couple of undisputed champions didn't duck him, he would have been 2-division undisputed champion within 30 fights. So what you have said is literally the opposite of reality. The only real victims of mistreatment and Stockholm syndrome are you and the other Ring IQ Muppets who have been mentally kidnapped and spoon-fed delusion by your cult leader.
Well, I was going to say, Jules, right? I love your theory, right? And I think I already know where you are on this, because you pretty much feel like David is a co-conspirator, right? I'm still on the side of, I'm wondering if he's a co-conspirator or if he's just not realizing the game that the company he's working with is playing. Does he not understand that that's their game, and that if his game truly is proving himself to be the best, fighting the best, that those two business models conflict? It's oil and water. What you want, the PBC doesn't support, and they're not going to put you in that position to do that.
Oil and water? Like your brain and logic? David's a co-conspirator in what exactly? Sending Canelo multiple offers? Fighting Plant, Andre, Gvozdik, and Morell? Offering Bivol $8 million? Getting his mandatory enforced? Sending an offer to Callum Smith? And when that failed, they allowed him to fight Yard on a Turkey card, which was the best option available. If that's the conspiracy, then yeah, he's guilty as charged of trying to fight the best. Meanwhile, you're guilty as charged too of being a completely delusional muppet. Honestly, Mr. Claymore, what the fuck are you talking about? What you said is literally the opposite of reality. In reality, the PBC have done a great job in facilitating David's career and giving him the best opportunities available. If you weren't so blinded by hate, you would realize that, you absolute donkey.
Fuck.
I thought he did it with the David Morell. I thought he woke up. I felt like he woke. I was like, he woke up. He stopped the Jesse Hart nonsense.
Clay,
My bad.
what I'm gonna say is, Morell was out of desperation. They did not want that. But who the fuck else was they gonna fight? More importantly, who was they gonna headline a pay-per-view with? Jesse Hart?
That was
They
the
had
talk.
They
Well-
had to fight. They had to fight that. Like, bro, it's David Morell or nobody. Y'all don't have nothing else on this side
It
of
just
the
so
street.
happened that was also the safest bet.
So let me get this straight. When David chose to fight Morell, the guy everybody, including you guys, claimed he was ducking, an incredibly high risk, low reward fight, instead of giving him credit, you pretend he had no choice and was just forced to fight him? He was forced to fight a Cuban with 11 fights who doesn't speak English and has basically no profile, and this was needed to headline a pay-per-view, they had no other choice but to fight an anonymous Cuban. And did I hear that moron in the background correctly? Morell was the lowest risk option. I suggest that Clown gets a brain scan just to check if there's anything in there at all.
I
It's not
mean,
going to be a good look.
personally, because I mean, if you're not on board saying that he doesn't want to make those fights, I completely understand. You know, I'm not trying to bring you over to our side or nothing like that. But
I'm almost there though. I'm
for
telling you.
me,
I'm
what it
just
all
holding on
boils
to hope.
down to,
So, Mr. Claymore Rain, Mr. Look at all my fake belts on the wall. I must be a boxing expert. So, you're this close to fully embracing one of the dumbest talking points ever concocted, that David Benavidez doesn't want to fight Bivol or Beterbiev. Let me give you a little tip. That's not a badge of honor. That's a front row nomination for Dunce of the Week. David has done everything in his power to make those fights happen, while his so-called opponents have made an art form out of dodging him. So to suggest David doesn't want those fights, that's not just wrong, it's delusional. Hell, it's worthy of a free ride to the local psych ward. No questions asked. So Mr. Claymore Rain, to sum it up, I give you a solid A for presentation skills, but a rock solid F for substance. You might be polished enough to earn Mr. Low Ring IQ's approval, but in the real world, you're just another slick talker with nothing but nonsense to offer. Congrats, you've officially mastered the art of being confidently clueless. I suggest getting some more fake belts on your wall. It might raise your boxing IQ. So for today's effort, I decided I won't be too harsh on Mr. Claymore Rain, because despite being a complete muppet, he doesn't seem to be that bad of a guy. So, with that in mind, Mr. Claymore Rain, today you are officially certified a potato brain. I understand you might be a little disappointed you didn't reach peak stupidity yet, but I am confident that a man of your talents will be there in no time.